Good Thursday morning. And if anybody watches my videos every day, say, yeah, I know who this is. This is Ice Age TV. Heading to the office. Got freaking garbage in my hand, coffee in my hand, got a phone in my hand. Jesus, just too much stuff in one hand. Anybody notice any difference over here as I walk towards my shop? You know, last night, finally got motivated and had time to kind of clean up my area over here. We need to spray all the rock so it kills all the grass. Need to get rid of the tree growing up next to the shed. See those big tanks over there? Those are 550-gallon fuel tanks I used to have filled with gasoline. Yes, years ago, I was on the page of having gas on the property in case there's ever a fuel shortage. Look at that tree there. Yeah, so those things are empty now because if you leave gas in those tanks, it just deteriorates. That's a whole other story. Look at my dump trailer. Boy, I tell you what, I'm going to try to get to the dump today because I'm just trying to clean things up around the property here, and just love my dump trailer. Things got algae growing on it. It's sitting over there. There's the wife's car she'll never ever get rid of. Yeah, it needs to go to the junkyard, but anyway, so the projects, they never end. And up here, the weather's already changed. Today is 70s, and it feels like 80. I'm wearing pants again. And tomorrow is supposed to be 60s. And my kid tomorrow has to go take her driver's motorcycle test. Yeah, my daughter's on a ride on a permit. And so the daughter finally has to take the real deal test so she can have an official motorcycle license. Come on, Pops. Come on. Come on back up here. Come on. Come on, Will. Come on, let's go. So time to get to work. Gotta go work. Believe it or not, my dogs years ago went to work with me all day long. I'm not lying about that. I used to have a Dalmatian dog that went to work with me every day. And then I sometimes would take the other dogs with me as well. So there's the Red Eye, the GT500, I mean, the Bronco, the Mustang Mach-E. Where's the Maverick, right? Yeah, I wonder where the Maverick is. The guy's even called me. I don't even know. Whoa, I don't know if that thing's coming in today. I doubt it. I would think tomorrow. Come on, pups. Get on up here. Yeah, so it's the ongoing daily morning show. Is that what's going on now? Do I have the daily morning video YouTube channel? Yeah, so I just like to talk, as you can tell. Yeah, it's pretty obvious, right? If you follow my channel, I tell some friends that have a hard time sleeping at nighttime just to turn on my YouTube channel, and maybe I'll help you go to sleep. Yeah. How about that idea, right? I'll put you to sleep. Yeah, maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. So yeah. So what's the theme today? You know, gotta have a new theme. Can't talk about the same thing every day, even though the general media asked me. I mean, sincerely, it turns out the news. I talked about it yesterday. I mean, come on. It'll be about Donald Trump's fiasco in his life. It'll be about Joe Biden's fiasco in his life. It just depends which channel you're watching. But I mean, sincerely, if you turn on TV, I mean, has the rhetoric changed? I mean, it's really bad. And I was thinking this morning about how more than ever, when do you wake up and have good news? I mean, you can be watching my channel the last few days, and you'd be like, yeah, I know. I'm watching your channel. All you're doing is just mouthing off about all this bad stuff. Yeah, right. Well, what's going on? I mean, what is going on? This is incredible. I mean, I am not here to embellish about myself. I mean, that's not who I am. I mean, I'm sure if you watch my channel, she's on my cars. My cars could all go away tomorrow. And sincerely, would it make the difference of me being happy getting out of bed? It wouldn't. Somebody made a comment yesterday on my channel after I showed me test driving the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. And I know for many people, they can look at me and say all the material things, that's what makes you so freaking happy and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they do. But I've been on both sides of the equation. I've had no material things before, but I still have been a happy guy. I mean, you could meet people I met 30, 40 years ago, and they'd say, the Iceman guy, that guy's always been just a really good, happy guy. I mean, I'm not a guy that carries a grudge and hangs my head low. So I can't emphasize enough. It's fun for me to have the opportunity to go chase all these cars and toys and share my experiences with everybody on the YouTube channel. But at the end of the day, they're just material things, and I'll never let those separate me from others. I mean, it's just not going to happen. I mean, I'm not that stupid. It's just material things. I mean, think about somebody who's dead that died 100 years ago that had a horse and buggy cart that was the favorite thing to that person in the whole wide world. And, I mean, who knows? I mean, do we care about that at this point in our life? Are you thinking about that today? No. So I got to think this morning to myself is, wow, over a year ago, I just looked around to see what's going on. And I started talking about, which just drives a lot of people nuts. It was like, I don't want to hear anymore. My daughter especially. He's like, I'm sick of it. But I said over a year ago that the third quarter of this year would start to be the eye-opener, that this country's not in good shape, that all this expensive energy and everything's too expensive, it's going to catch up eventually. There's just no way. So I just think it's incredible how I am so right now. And believe me, I am not right all the time by any means. Yeah, if I was, I would have I would have invested my money in the right things and right markets, and I probably wouldn't even have a YouTube channel. Would I be hanging out in the islands or doing something else? Who knows? But the point is, there's no doubt this country's going down the toilet. Yeah, I mean, if you want to sit there and this morning and argue with me about this, that's fine. I don't care. You can argue with me. That's great. I like different views. But at the same time, does anybody have any good news? I mean, does anybody have any good news? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be totally negative here. But if you watch the news, if you watch yesterday, Powell get up there on the podium and tell everybody the way it's going to be, it ain't over. I mean, they're going to raise the interest rates on the Fed side conservative another 2 points, maybe 3. They just raised it at 3/4 yesterday, but he said he's not done. Wow, you're talking about mortgage rates on houses that are going to be now back in the early 90s. Like when I first started going buying a house, it was like 7 3/4 or 8 3/4 when I bought this property. Yeah. Everybody else has been spoiled by the free money. That's the downside. And I've been talking about this for quite a while. That the downside to all this free money is it makes people buy things. I mean, I'm just as guilty as anybody else. If I go see an $80,000 car with 0% interest financing, hell, I'll buy that car in a heartbeat, because it's like buying a car for $50,000 with a high interest rate. Yeah. Go buy a brand new house that's $500,000 that you really can't afford, but that's 2 3/4 inch interest rate. Yeah, heck yeah, that's a great idea. But you never stop to think to yourself, to step back and say, but if I want to sell the $500,000 house, 3, 4, 5 years from now, and interest rates are 8 or 9%, then what happens? And see, that's what I've talked about numerous times here over the past year, not on the YouTube channel, but just my friends and family, is that where the housing market goes south is when you as an individual bought that house for $500,000 and you can afford that monthly payment, but now you need to get out of that house, and the next person comes along. It's no longer the masses that can afford the $500,000 home at 8%, 9% interest rates. That's where the fiasco starts. That's where now the person is saying, I'll pay you $350 for it. Because $350 is the equation to you being at $500,000 at 2 3/4. So nobody thinks outside the box. Nobody thinks about the future. I mean, don't get me wrong, people do, but I'm just speaking in vague terms. So for me, just after witnessing yesterday and what happened, I predicted a 20K Dow by the end of December. The stock market was a sell-off yesterday. And it's incredible. I told so many people that last year at this time, I think that now is the time to cash out. And most are like, nope. I'm like, you should cash out now. I think you should cash out. I mean, last year at this time, some of you have to look it up, but I bet you the stock market was like at 37. I would say 37, maybe 38. And even I missed out. Even I went just a little too late. Even I kind of should have cashed out just a little earlier. So for anybody that's in the market right now, no, I mean, here's the thing. If you've got a great retirement and you've got great investments, you got great assets, I get all the why to sell out to the market. I get all that. But at the same time, you know, if Amazon, just give you an example. Let's just say Ford stock at the high was $19. And let's just say, for heck, if you bought it at 15, well, now it's at 13. I mean, when do you cut bait? I mean, when do you cut bait if the Ford goes to 7? Wouldn't you be better off selling at 15 and just getting your money out? And if you buy it back at $7 and the same amount of money you had for 15, you just doubled your stock portfolio. I don't get it. I don't get how people think. I am not the stock advisor. I'm not a stock market guy. I wish I would have studied that and learned it, because I think I'd have been pretty damn good. Probably wouldn't have this YouTube channel, because I'd have come to realize what a waste of money cars are. What a waste of time. Yeah, you wouldn't know me in all reality, most likely. So, you know, going back to the Fed and going back to the Dow, going back to the housing market, well, yeah, this is a car channel, right? But this is all connected dots. It's all starting to impact the car industry. I mean, I'm hearing from the GMs of these dealerships, yeah. And I mean, they're not even really talking a lot. They're just basically, yeah. So yesterday you saw me do the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, which I really think that's a really nice car. I'm really impressed with that vehicle. I really like it. Am I going to buy one right now? No, I'm not going to buy one because it's overpriced. And what's interesting is, last night, just the heck of it, I went to cars.com, and this is what concerns me. Anytime there's a brand new vehicle in the marketplace, and you see a lot of used, brand new, vehicles that just came out in the marketplace, that raises to me a red flag. Why? Why are so many of these people turning their cars back in? Well, first thing I think is the thing's a gas hog. So somebody buys it, and after a while, I mean, I'm going to tell you what, I've had the Suburbans. I've had these big Hummers. I've had the gas guzzlers. I've had the Chevy Dually 454 back in 1993. I'm not embellishing. 92, I bought a 454 Chevy Dually. It's in my over 200 cars purchased in my video I made. It shows that truck. It's a burgundy and silver truck. And, oh my gosh, I can still remember. Now I live out here in the country, which was the country back in 92, and I had to commute basically about 35 miles. I'd say 30 miles one way, and then 30 miles back. But then sometimes I worked out of it. And oh my gosh, that gas gauge moved as you drove down the road. So even back then we had $2 some gas back then. I could spend $75 a day just filling that damn truck up. So the whole point is, once you go and fill up your gas guzzler Ram TRX or your Suburban or whatever vehicle you may have, it gets 12 miles a gallon, which my gut instinct is that Jeep Grand Wagoneer, you're probably 13, 14, 15 highway maybe, be my guess. It says 17, but we'll just say for the heck of it, 14 miles per gallon. That should be my guess at best. And so, you go to the gas station, you spend $125 to fill it up, if not $150. Yeah, it's not a big deal. But when you go back 2 days later and do it again, and you go back 3 days later and do it again, and all of a sudden you're just like, I can't stand this. I just spent $500 this week to put gas in my vehicle. Yeah, bye-bye. That's what happens to that. So for me, my concern is a lot of them in the market, a lot of them are for sale. But here's the other thing that's just really, I went and built one last night because I thought this wouldn't be bad. Chrysler, I should say Stellantis, the Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Chrysler product line it's based around Stellantis now. They're bringing what they call a Hurricane twin turbo motor availability for that Jeep Grand Wagoneer. And this is kind of like my V6 twin turbo F-150 Tremor truck I had versus my Godzilla 7.3 F-250 I had, which I learned the hard way that, oh my God, the V6 twin turbo outpulled the 7.3 Godzilla motor because the way it's geared, and it had more torque. Yes. So the new Hurricane motor that's coming out, but it's not available yet, and that's the danger part. So the current 6.4 motor has like 465 horsepower, maybe 485, and it has like 443 foot-pounds of torque. The next generation motor to be put in it is called the Hurricane twin turbo motor, and it's going to have 500 horsepower and I believe 553 foot-pounds of torque, where it's going to have a 9,500 tow capacity, towing capability. So that thing's going to have maybe 100 foot-pounds of torque more, and it has more horsepower. So for the guy that buys that 6.4 Grand Wagoneer right now, once that Hurricane motor comes out, and it's a twin turbo, it'll probably be more fuel efficient, and it's going to be more powerful. Oh my gosh, all of a sudden, the 6.4 is like, well, I really don't want that. So the value tanks. Yeah, anybody watching my channel right now, if they're like that video yesterday and they're thinking about this, the only way I would buy that vehicle this time, if it was huge discount, huge, I'm talking 20 plus grand. And that's the only way to even start even thinking about it. Because once that Hurricane motor option comes available, forget it. You got the anchor car. So, and once again, when you watch my YouTube channel, I know yesterday some people probably think, oh, here he goes and buys our car. Well, in all reality, I do test drive cars. I like to do that. And I have such great relationships with dealerships. I can go in and I can test drive cars. I mean, back in the day, I used to test drive Vipers. Yes, Vipers. Who gets to do that? Yeah, not anybody. It's all about relationships. Yeah, so the next thing is Ford. You know, the Ford stock is the worst in S&P 500. I don't know if it'll be the worst the longest because the whole Dow is just crashing. I haven't even looked at the markets this morning. I have no idea. But last night I read about Ford, and I talked about this the other day, that has like 45,000 vehicles. You know, I kind of need to clarify this. Ford apparently has like 45,000 vehicles that won't be finished being built, meaning they've been built, but they're still waiting on the semiconductor problem. So now, on Auto Week or some one of the other car, companies on the internet, not car companies, but magazines, internet information and vehicles, the car enthusiast info sites, it shows a satellite picture of the Kentucky Speedway of like a month ago of Ford trucks sitting in the parking lot around the stadium, the Speedway, and now they show like a month later. So it's like it's massive. It's massive. So now Ford's challenge is they have built so many vehicles. And you know what people don't understand about this is that if you're a manufacturer, you have to commit to materials, you have to commit to labor. So you just have to keep the thing going. You can't stop. It's not that easy just to turn off the switch, because you're going to have major union disruption, union fights with people that's supposed to be paid. They're now idle and getting paid. And then all these materials you're committed to. It means there's so many variables to building a vehicle that it's just not simple to flip the switch. So for Ford right now, yeah, they're in dire straits because of the semiconductor chip shortage. And apparently GM is as well. It's so funny. The other day I talked, that how is there really a supply chain issue still going on and all that the semiconductor? Well, here you go. I was speculating that the guys just deliberately trying to make things more expensive by holding back inventory. No, it's a real deal. It's a real challenge. So for Ford, their management side, if you're an investor or board member, you're just kind of scratching your head of, what is going on. Your investment for that company, they're not managing their cash flow, or they're manufacturing. There's just so many things going on that you, as an individual, be like, man, I don't know. Do these guys know what they're doing? Yeah. So that's huge. So, to answer your question, yeah, the shortage of new cars is not deliberate. It's real. And don't know about Toyota being the next biggest. You have kind of like the Ford, GM, you have Volkswagen. Volkswagen's usually like the number one biggest manufacturer in the whole world. Volkswagen's massive. Yeah, you see how Porsche's going public and they're trying to put a value on that company to buy their stock. Yeah. I mean, Porsche, interesting how Volkswagen and Porsche being their European, we hear about them over here, but we're not as abreast to what's going on because it's not a domestic brand. And I'm more than domestic guy, even though I've owned a lot of foreign vehicles. I don't have anything against them. I'm just the domestic man right now because I like the stuff that they're making. But at the same time, as we all know, it's very challenging
for anybody out there that's an average individual, for all the inflation and the prices. So, here's the thing. Remember I said earlier, when do you wake up any morning with good news? Well, I don't know. I mean, if you're the right individual and you've got cash, I think this is good news every day you get out of bed. I mean, I'm telling you, if you're, cash is king is right around the corner. I mean, more than ever again. So for anybody out here watching my YouTube channel, if I was getting up every day, I'd be rubbing my hands together going, this is good news, man. I'm loving this because the repos, yes, the repos are up 33%. I mean, that's factual. There's another YouTube channel, the YAA guys or whatever, your Advisor Alliance or your Alliance Advisor or whatever. They're the guy's son. I didn't even watch it, but it's just on my YouTube, screen as you see through all the different YouTubes you can watch. And apparently he's posting some major repos are happening. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about it myself personally. It's just whatever the internet's telling you, right? And that's, oh, the internet, the YouTube guy, huh? Yeah, you listen to YouTube guy, he has all the answers. You can just hear your friends saying, who is this guy? You what? You just watch that guy today talk? Yeah, right. Who is he? He has a ton of cars? Oh, Jesus, yeah. Yeah, so anyways, so if you got the cash, you should be happy as can be because it's going to be the cars, the trucks, the motorcycles, the boats, the RVs, eventually the houses, no doubt in my mind, because I just told you what's going to happen. The couple that bought the house for $500,000 and unbeknownst to you was, more on the page, you're going to keep it a few years and flip it to make it to be $750. And they kind of put everything on the line to make the numbers work. And then whoever the woman or the husband or the wife gets laid off, and don't get me wrong, I wish nothing to happen for anybody that I'm speaking of, but I'm just telling you the reality of life. And that is, how do I know? I mean, how do I know, right? yeah. Want to hear more stories? Right, yeah. So, yeah. Did I just about lose his property? Yeah, sure did. Yeah, back in 93. My buddy of mine was like, just let it go. Just let it go. Don't worry about it. Just, oh my God. Yeah, friends can be dangerous. So yeah, the cash is king is next one. The couple that spent $500,000 on a home and got the 2.75% interest rate on their mortgage, and now they're hurting on cash flow and they got to get rid of it. They got to downsize, or they get divorced. That happens. I mean, that happens a lot, right? Or they got to relocate, but usually relocate, the big company will buy the house, make it all work. But there's infinite variables on that. But the whole point is, so if they're buried in the house and they still owe $475 or $450 on it, and the next guy comes along, it's like, well, I'm approved for 8% interest, but I can only afford $350. Yeah, how does that play out? And then another thing the Wall Street Journal said this morning is the big mega houses, the $1 million homes, crickets. The lights have turned off. I mean, the lights have turned off. So for the people that have mansion houses, yeah, good luck. Is anybody crying for me? I mean, here's a story, and don't get me wrong, I have no intention to belittle anybody or make fun of anybody, but at the same time, it just cracks me up. Here's a couple in San Francisco bought a home, an old home for $1.4 million, I think, okay? Well, they went in and they fixed it up, and now they're trying to get $3.8 million for it. I mean, are you bleeding for these people? I mean, it's investors. These are investors. This is a couple that bought the home, but it's a rude awakening. Nobody's showing up to buy the house. So now they've lowered it to $3.29 million. But they paid $1.4 million for it. And yeah, they spent, $2 million on it to renovate it? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they did. I have no idea. I doubt it. Usually you have an old home. You're in historic districts, and you have historical things you can and can't do to the home. I mean, usually that's kind of how it's controlled. But I have no idea. But at the same time, is your heart bleeding for them? They paid $1 million for it, I think, was it 2 years ago or 4 years ago? I can't remember exactly. But just a short time ago, they cleaned it up, and now they want $3.29 now if you want to go to San Francisco. And then sure enough, another couple, same story. Bought, nice expensive home and blah, blah, blah. But the other thing is, what's going on is the interest rates are so low in the housing market, people don't want to flip. That was a whole other conversation. That now the housing market could maybe even get tighter because there's so many people in their homes that recently bought them or refinanced them, and they got the 2.3, 2.75% interest rate or 3% interest rate, And they're finding out if they want to move, they're going to probably be more like at 7% interest rate. So those people are now like, nope, we're not going anywhere. I'm not going to sell my house now. I'm just going to sit on it. So there's a whole other variable in the scheme of things. Oh my gosh. You know, another word I've used the first this year was we're in interesting times. I mean, I really used to use that word a lot. We're in interesting times. I mean, we are so in interesting times. In the car market, you just have to say, when does the car market the trapdoor opens? I mean, I think the trapdoor is getting ready to be released. Now, here's something I got to think about last night too. Was, I've been looking around for a Charger Hellcat wide body, red eye, and interestingly enough, there's one right up the road from me. And part of me is like, for me, really, I've spent so much money here buying cars lately. I'm just not really excited about this. I mean, I really am not. People watch my channel, go, yeah, sure, right now. I'm sincere on that. And part of me says, why not just order one? And that way, it'll take 3, 4, 5 months for it to come in. And that just gives me time to, cash out of some other cars, do some things change. And then I just kind of get the price I should get. When you work with a dealer, technically they give you a discount or you just pay MSRP. Because all these used Hellcats are as much or more than the regular asking price. So I've got mixed feelings on that. I'm not really super excited about that. I'm just, and here's the thing. Where the market's going, the whole car in the industry, it's dangerous where you start picking up cars and think you're going to flip and make a bunch of money. I mean, I think my Heritage GT500 Mustang's always going to have, it's always going to have that niche of people who have the money to buy it. Not worried about that. The Hellcat Red Eye Gold Rush, that's kind of a different market. Meaning it's still available to buy them and order them. So I'm not there, I'm not stuck with it. It's not that I can sell it. I can sell it today, make a little bit of money off it. But, does the big number come, how long does it take to do that? And that's what's interesting. The guy yesterday at the dealership here locally, I drove that Jeep Grand Wagoneer. He's got a buddy of his that lives next door to him. It's got a yellow Demon with 3,000 miles on it. It's an older gentleman. And he's kind of convinced the guy to let him put it on consignment in his dealership, try to sell it. And I was telling the guy yesterday, he said, that guy's a fool. He's like, why do you say that? I'm like, because it's not going to be really till next year at this time that the reality sets in that Dodge no longer builds Hellcats. That's when, I think next year at this time, when you can't go to the dealer or a 2024 Dodge Hellcat, that's when it's going to really sink into a lot of people. And that's when I think people are really going to be like, wow, I really want one of these cars. So I think it's a year away. So I said, I would tell a guy to sit it out for a year because I think you probably get $200,000 for that car maybe next year at this time. This time, and now things are so uncertain, you got to be concerned about. If anybody's the person that manages their cash flow and investments, who's not getting killed? If people are making money off their stock, I mean, people forget about that. In the heyday of time, so many people were, if you had $3.5 million in the portfolio in the market, or $5 million portfolio in the market, you're making $150,000, $200,000 a year without even touching the monies. And so for somebody who has a nice retirement package, that's just their free money. That's the fun money. That's go buy the boat money. That's go buy the RV money. That's go buy another car money. That's go buy another house money. That's give money to the kids so they can go have fun. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. That's all done. It's gone. And so, what people are starting to realize, especially if you're the high-end guy that's selling stuff, that, yeah, those customers, they got that money because they were smart. So they're not going to now start taking money out of their portfolio. They're not going to take $150,000, $200,000 out of their portfolio just to go buy a toy. They'll go buy the toy when they're rewarded through their stocks and dividends, right? Oh, my goodness. Such interesting times. I mean, now every day you get out of bed, like I said, if I'm the guy that has cash, I'm getting more excited every day. And for like me, I'd love to buy a piece of property down in Tennessee. But there's no way I'm buying it. There's no way. Because it's stupid price. If a nice piece of property came up and made sense, yeah, I'd buy a piece of property down in Tennessee. That's where, the odds are that's where I'll be retiring. But at the same time right now, just like in Florida, I was down there. I should have bought land back in 2018. I just about put a deal together buying land down there. I should have. Oh my gosh, I could have easily today. Not now. Things are changing, but this early part of this year or late last year, I could have probably flipped it and made $200,000. Yeah, geez, why didn't I do that? Right. I hear you loud and clear. So anyways, just this morning, kind of, just a nice sharing more information. To me, anybody that's watching the media, I mean, it's dangerous to watch it. And I really appreciate everybody, being diplomatic and making nice comments. Because I know I make some comments on here that can irk some people. I get all that. I get that. I mean, I'm not intentionally running a YouTube channel to irk people. I'm trying to make a YouTube channel that people can get up in the morning and turn it on. And, not that you can't read this yourself, but just hear different views and different ideas. And that's what it's all about for me. Wow, are the clouds coming in? And is the day going to change? It's supposed to be rain coming in this afternoon, and it was supposed to be rain tomorrow. My kid takes her motorcycle test at the DMV to get her official motorcycle license. So, and I was thinking I'd have to take her up there with my truck and trailer, which I may do that anyways. It's such a bummer. The freaking test is at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday afternoon, which is like the busiest day of the week on the roads. It's the worst. It's the worst time. And where we have to go, it's just going to be the worst traffic. So I'm probably just going to load up the Hondas. We already have them loaded up one of my aluminum trailer, ATC. And I think I'm just going to drive her up to the location, just unload the bike and take the test and load it back in the trailer and just come back home. When you ride motorcycles, if you can put yourself in better circumstances than worse circumstances, that's your advantage. I mean, that's I've talked about motorcycling. It's very dangerous. And if you're not smart, it doesn't guarantee anything in life. But, the goal is to stay upright, not downright, if you know what I mean by that. Yeah, now looking at my Harley head on, now I kind of start looking around the different Harleys and what the Harley, kind of interesting. The Harleys kind of brought me back. I'm back in the Harley Davidson forum, and all the guys kind of welcomed me back and weren't kind of mean to me because I abandoned them and got Indians, if you know what I mean. Harley Davidson forums gets a lot of characters. It's funny. I mean, it's a funny forum, actually. But some guys on there, you traitor. Yeah, but for the most part, not really. You like motorcycles, you like motorcycles. So anyways, hope everybody's enjoyed the video. And what's next? What am I doing next? Oh, the Maverick. Where's the Maverick? In fact, I can go on my phone right now. And, here's my father. And he's saying right now, gave the phone number, okay, and so he's just saying gave me the phone number to the driver, but I can go to my Ford Pass, and let's just see if that's updated. You just have to turn the truck on, but I'm wondering if it's updated where it is. Let's see here. No, it hasn't, because the truck hasn't been started, but it's so funny. I can remotely start that truck and turn it off. Like, I'd be freaked out, wouldn't he? So, let's see here. So, where is it? Yeah, so it still shows the last location of where it was picked up. So, I don't know where it is. But my father gave me the phone number to the guy. That's actually local phone number. So, I'll probably give him a call to see where he is. And then the Maverick. Get the Maverick up here, and there's a whole other adventure. And what do I do with that? What does that open to me? Does a Maverick open the door for me to get rid of some other things without irritating the wife? Yeah. All right. Well, stay tuned for more Ice Age adventures. And I hope this morning's video has helped you have a better day, especially if you have cash. If you already have cash, I think this is very exciting times. I really do. I really think that anybody that has wads of cash, I'd be getting up every day and be like, wow, this is awesome. I'm going to be buying some pretty nice things at some pretty good deals. All right, everybody, have a great day.